In this video, we're going to build a great starter first aid kit using items that you can get for pretty cheap at your local Dollar Tree store. You don't have to spend a couple $100 on a trauma kit when you're starting out on your preparedness journey, but instead you can pick up a lot of these items that we're going to cover in this video, which will take care of most of the basic problems that may come up on a daily basis or after a disaster. So let's jump in. Download the Start Preparing Survival Guide to help you prepare for any disaster. I'll post a link in the description and comments section below, or visit cityprepping.com/get started for a free guide to help you get started on your journey of preparedness. If you're new to this channel, my name is Chris, and on this channel we discuss emergency preparedness, aka prepping. When you're starting out in your preparedness journey, or even if you've been doing it for a while, my encouragement is typically to start small in whatever thing that you're trying to buy. In this case, we're talking about medical supplies, and then work up over time. But the key is usually to start with items that you can actually use on a daily basis instead of buying specialized pieces of equipment that you may or may not use. And so in this case, we're going to talk about bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers, and other items, again, that you can use in a practical everyday life. Now, the dollar store is actually a great place to find affordable first aid supplies. And over time, you can add more specialized items as your budget allows. Now, what I'm going to show you is just, I've got this basic little, container here, and I just put some red tape on it to signify first aid. And what you'll notice is I have put all these together in Ziploc bags. Now, I'll point out that I originally was going to try to put everything inside of these little Tupperware containers that I found at the dollar store. You can get 3 of these for $1. The problem is the lids just don't seal. When you put items in here, they keep popping up. And so as you can see, I've got tape on here to kind of hold this together, but as soon as there's any type of resistance, it pops right off. And so the other issue is they're kind of bulky. And I'll show you why I went with Ziploc bags as we go through these. So what I'd like to do is take these items out as, I've kind of organized them in the Ziploc bags and show you what I put inside each one of these. Bandages. So I'm going to start off with covering bandages. And as you can see, I've got these organized here in this little, I think quart-size Ziploc bag. Now, the reason I went with, again, Ziploc over the Tupperware is because when you press these down, you can actually push the air out and seal them up. And so they flatten down pretty nicely. Now, what you're also going to notice is that a lot of the items that we're going to go through, they originally came in boxes. For example, all these gauze pads here. And what I did was I actually took them out of the box and I cut off the label that was on the top of the box. And again, I put that so whenever I look at this, I can clearly see it. Why did I take it out of the box? Well, some of these, the boxes were a little larger and it just kind of added more volume to our storage, and I just wanted to get everything nice and compressed down. Okay, so again, we've got gauze pads as the first item that I'll pull out here. I've got standard plastic bandages. And again, these are a little larger and as opposed to your just standard Band-Aids, which we've got right here. And again, as you can see, I put the label on the outside of the bag, or rather on the inside on top of the Band-Aids here. And then in the last right here is I've got these sheer adhesive pads, these transparent compressed adhesives. And so overall, we've got 4 different types of bandages, some to handle smaller, some to handle larger. And at $1 each, well, now with inflation $1.25, we're still at a very low price point for a good amount of bandages. Tablets. Okay, our next kind of grouping, and again, you may organize yours completely different. So please don't take what I'm doing as the absolute standard. It's just what made sense to me. And that's the beauty of being able to use Ziploc bags. You can organize these in whatever way makes the most sense. And I don't know if I said this a second ago, but another thing I like about the Ziploc bags is I can see everything very quickly without having to rummage around in here. I can just pull things out and I've got everything organized. Now, in here, let me go through again these items. And again, as you can see, what I did was originally the box was like this, and I just cut off the sides and it collapses down. So now it's a nice flat, box here versus, and again, It's not a big amount of space that it was taking up before, but it just helps to kind of compress everything down at least 40%. So these are all-day allergy relief antihistamines. And while right now it's beginning to go in the fall, early spring is brutal for me, and having these on hand, I find myself having to use them every day. The next one is nighttime cold and flu. At the time of recording this video is September 11th, and we're heading into the fall season. And this is when we begin to see, you start developing coughs. Unfortunately, we have kids that are now in school, so they always bring some kind of bug home with them, and we've got to deal with that usually in the house. And this last one here is Hall's Vapor, like the just basic cough suppressants. And so again, whenever I end up getting sick inevitably with something one of my kids brought home, having to deal with cough suppression and being able to get through the night without coughing myself to death comes in handy. So I organize them, as you can see, as kind of like tablets. And again, this was intentional because we're going to go over some liquid options that are very comparable to these, but I just wanted to put everything that was tablet related in this Ziploc bag. Gloves and tweezers. So for our next category, gloves and tweezers, I've put everything in the Ziploc bag. The gloves that we have here, these are nitrile exam gloves. I'm not sure if these are latex free or not, powder free. For those that have latex allergies, you definitely need to make sure you don't get something that has, is latex. And then the last item here in our bag is just a pair of tweezers. I'm not sure how many times you've had to deal with getting some small, something that gets under your skin or your kids, and it's just annoying to deal with. So again, I put these together for not necessarily any particular reason. I don't think I could find a location for tweezers that really made sense. So I figure, well, if I'm dealing with some type of laceration or something that I need gloves on in case there's any type of bleeding, I just decided to put these together. Sanitizers and wraps. For this category, sanitizers and wraps, again, a bit of an odd pairing, but I'll explain kind of what was going on here. So I wanted to put everything that was used for sanitizing purposes, things like hydrogen peroxide, alcohol wipes, just a basic hand sanitizer that you may want to carry around, especially again as the flu season kicks up here soon. So this first one is hydrogen peroxide. I think as a child that was a rite of passage to have this sprayed on cuts. It's not recommended anymore. It's usually soap and water that's recommended, but there's obvious applications that you could use hydrogen peroxide for. Our next one here is a basic hand sanitizer, just, Germ-X you can carry around your pocket and, making sure that you keep your hands clean. Now, we also put wraps, and there's a couple, and again, as I mentioned a second ago, I did put the label or the packaging designating what this is that this came with. And again, I took it out of the box, a clear container around it. And I also, as you can notice, or as you can see, I smashed down these rolls just, again, with the idea of trying to save a little space as opposed to letting them be a full roll. But again, whatever works for you. This first one is a reversible tough wrap. And think about from the perspective, if you've got gauzes that you've got to put on to, different cuts or bruises or whatever it is, and being able to wrap that, it would come in handy to keep that on. Now this one's called gentle tape. And this one, again, is useful for taping things up without ripping off a bunch of hair and, having the pain of that being on your skin. And then the last one in here is just alcohol pads. These are prep pads. And if you're having to deal with bandaging up something on someone, putting on a Band-Aid, or maybe there's just, a lot of debris or whatever. You just want to clean the area that you're about to treat, or just taking care of your own hands. These come in handy. Now there is one item I was not able to find while I was at the Dollar Tree store, and I just think they're out of the supply, but it's some type of generic Neosporin. That's one of the items I do not have here, but I would highly recommend it if I were to update and kind of finalize this kit. That's probably what I would put in here between this, the sanitizers and the ability to treat like hydrogen peroxide or clean up a wound and making sure that you're putting something on it when you apply the Band-Aid. Neosporin is probably one of my most favorite go-tos, but I couldn't find it there at the dollar store, but most of them will probably carry that. Pain meds. For our pain meds, I've got several different options in here, and I've also got a few other items in addition to pain meds. I've got sleep aid and laxative as well. And I just went ahead and bunched all these together because they're just in these little capsules here, these little containers. And I just figured, well, let's just lump all of the pills together. So let me go ahead and walk you through real quick what we have. We've got a nighttime sleep aid. And again, as we're going through these, one of the things that you'll notice is that these are not, again, your typical kind of like trauma items. These are practical everyday items that you would want to use for just everyday life with your family. I've got a family, and a lot of times kids will, get cuts and nicks, and we have to deal with them. And so as opposed to breaking out a big high-end medical kit, a lot of these will deal with a lot of the smaller issues. And that's really kind of the angle that we're taking here, is not some kit that you may have to use in the future, but something that you can practically use on an everyday basis. So let me also go through a few of these other items. We've got headache relief, acetaminophen, aspirin, and caffeine. How many times have you forgot to drink your coffee one day? If you're like me, a very constant coffee drinker, and the headache kicks in. So yeah. Now this one is aspirin, and again, caffeine. It's kind of interesting that they're bunching caffeine with a lot of these. I've just only noticed that as I purchase these. So if you're sensitive to caffeine, make sure that you don't get anything with caffeine, because some of these do. The next one is ibuprofen. And lastly, we've got a laxative. So just think from the perspective of in an emergency situation or just an everyday family, medical kit. If one of you or one of your kids get backed up, having something like this would be extremely helpful. Creams. Okay, the next item is creams, and I'll go through these. Now there is one that I did add in that's not a cream, but it's just a lip balm, just basic chapstick. It's pretty annoying having lips that are chapped, especially as we go into the cold season. This bag kind of covered both ends of the, how should I put it? Both ends. You've got here we go, oral analgesic and gel, and then we've got hemorrhoid cream. So we're essentially covering lips and buttholes. So we've got both ends covered there. And the other one is cold therapy gel. And again, this is just some kind of or rather cooling pain relief. And this has menthol in it. So again, these are items that you're going to use to treat some of the common, how should I say it, pain issues that you may come up with from, again, hemorrhoids or some type of, rash or, something around your lips, like a lip balm or, a cold sore or something that's just really annoying. So again, think of these as kind of dealing with the pain and just bringing basic comfort. Cold and flu. This next one, cold and flu, is a lot of the liquids. Now, some of these that we went over, some of the pain meds that are tablet form, some of these are actually in liquid. There's one in particular that it doesn't necessarily fall under cold and flu, but it's child pain relief. And this is, actually, that's not the one, it's over here. Here it is. So if you have children, I don't know if you've ever had to deal with a kid waking up in the middle of the night, having some type of whatever it is, or just during the day, they're having some type of pain. This is acetaminophen, and this is an oral solution. And again, just for kids, this is a great option if they're uncomfortable using tablets or swallowing those. The next up is, let's see, a cough suppressant. And this is, I believe, sugar-free tussin, cough, and chest congestion DM. So this one is, I believe, is this nighttime? I always get them backwards. Well, actually, this is just for, if you've got some type of a chest cold and you want to deal with that. And then we've got our cold, dealing with both the daytime and nighttime. So our blue being nighttime and the orange being daytime. So I'm not sure, again, if you've had to deal with really severe chest colds and just having, coughing seemingly nonstop. It just drives me up the wall. So it seems like, again, as I mentioned earlier, every year when my kids get sick, I've got to deal with this. So again, as you're noticing here as we're going through, these are everyday, just typical applications. Again, not some possible scenario where there may be a severe disaster. But again, if there is a disaster, having these already on hand, in case the stores are down or you're just not able to get various items like this, it really can come in handy. Heat wrap. Now this next item may not be something you consider on a, again, typical first aid kit, but at $1, just having a heat wrap on standby, if you have some type of muscle or joint pain. Again, we're trying to think from, the perspective of, hey, the grid is down, not a hospital that I can access. Again, maybe the pharmacies are not up and running. So if I've got some type of inconvenient pain issue, this could definitely come in handy. Hydration. Now this next item are these, these little hydration electrolyte packages. I've done marathons before, and they're basically just sugar and salt. And if you've ever been in a situation where you either get dehydrated, maybe you're in a hot sun environment, or again, maybe you're doing strenuous work and you find that, hey, your muscles are beginning to, cramp and stuff like this. These types of solutions that you can mix in with water very quickly, they come in handy. First aid kits. Okay, now these are interesting. We're talking about building first aid kits, but while I was there at the store, they sell these individualized for $1 first aid kits. Now they're not a lot, but for example, this one's got some Band-Aids and wipes. This one is 36 items, mostly again Band-Aids and a few other items. But hey, for even a container like this and just having these items on standby that you could throw in a bag if you're out somewhere, your EDC, for $1, that's not bad. And again, a very similar option here. This is a small first aid kit. And while it's mostly bandages and some hand sanitizers, for this price point, it's a nice little item that you can throw in your bag if you got to head out. So there you have it. Hopefully this gives you kind of a good idea of how you can build your own first aid kit for pretty cheap. You can customize it in a way that makes sense to you. I just took an approach that made sense to me, the way my mind thinks. Maybe you want to actually put these items in Tupperware. Maybe you just want to leave them in their original containers. There's really no right or wrong approach. I just like to I just like compressing things down and putting them in Ziplocs. It just minimizes everything and I can see everything quickly and view it, so I know when I'm grabbing something out, here's what's inside the bag. But let me know if there's something I missed. Again, I definitely missed the generic Neosporin, and I think for the most part, those are the items that I wanted in my kit and I found at the dollar store, but hey, maybe you got different items at your dollar store. And so let me know if there's something that you feel would have really been beneficial or that you have found that's helped you and your family. If you want to check out another video on items that we'd recommend, especially if you're starting out in your preparedness journey, I'll put a link here on the side of the screen. As always, stay safe out there.